In this quick video, I'll walk you through my favourite way to safely package up and ship artworks. Glassine paper and sheets of cardboard are required, and it's very easy to do once you get the hang of it. Being a pet portrait artist for over 5 years, I have been lucky enough to successfully ship artworks all over the world, and over that time I have refined my method, so here's how I do it. So here you can see I have this recently completed pet portrait created using soft pastels and pastel pencils. As some of you may already know, soft pastels require extra care as they can still technically be smudged if touched or disturbed, especially because I personally don't use any fixatives as they tend to dull the colours and the details. However, the method I show here will work for all sorts of artwork such as colour pencil, graphite, oil paint and watercolours and so on. So first I remove the tape securing my artwork to the drawing board, and I then place the artwork face down on some glassine paper. When this is secured in place, the artwork will be safe from smudging. I always recommend to clients to leave this in place until the artwork is safely in a frame, just to avoid any unfortunate mistakes. Glassine paper is acid free, as well as smudge, dust and grease proof, so it offers decent protection for all sorts of precious artworks. I'll then make sure to tape this glassine paper securely in place, avoiding any spaces or gaps at the edges, just so that it's snug to the artwork. The tape I'm using here is just some washi tape, and I like to use this as it feels more premium and it's easy to peel off for the client. So I'll just quickly fold up the other sides and tape it into place like so before moving on. You'll see me using my ruler here, and this is just to act as a weight to hold the folded glassine down so that I can easily tape it in place. So now that the artwork is covered with the glassine paper and is protected, I'll begin to cut out my first cardboard pieces to cover the artwork. The cardboard I use is double corrugated for extra strength, and this artwork in particular measures 40 by 50 centimeters, so I want to make sure that the edges are fully covered and protected. So the cardboard pieces I will cut out will measure approximately 45 by 55 centimeters. This will extend out from the artwork dimension and offer more protection in the unfortunate possibility of the edges or the corners getting bent or dented. When shipping internationally, your parcel will likely be thrown around, so it's better to be safe than sorry in my opinion. If we zoom in, you can see here that I've made sure to cut out 2 sheets for each side, so 4 pieces in total. I will also cut 2 where the corrugation of the cardboard is going one way, and then 2 other sheets where it's going the opposite way. Hopefully you can see here how that looks. This helps to create a stronger lattice effect which resists bending and denting even further than if the corrugation was all in the same direction. I'll then tape the sides together using a strong Kraft tape. This secures the sheets together to form essentially a thicker and stronger sheet of cardboard. I'll do this for both sides. And here's what those 2 cardboard pieces now look like, a thicker and stronger version of how they started. These feel very lightweight but strong, which is perfect for what we need, as we need to balance strength and weight for the cost of shipping. The artwork is then secured to one of these new and improved sheets, taped down using masking tape or something similar. And here's how the artwork now looks taped into place. Also, with all of my tape, I fold the tip so that it forms a little handle for the client to easily grab and pull off. So then once the artwork is taped and secure, I can then place the other cardboard side on top to sandwich the artwork between the two. Using Kraft tape again, I'll tape the corners and sides like so, tightly securing the 2 sides of cardboard together with the artwork in between. I like to make sure that the 2 sides are tightly taped together to avoid any movement of the artwork inside, in case the package gets thrown around during the shipping process. You can see again I folded the tip of each of the tapes just so that the client can easily pull them off when unwrapping the artwork. And here's how the package now looks when viewed on the side with the artwork safely inside. Next, I'll focus on the certificate of authenticity and a thank you note. My certificates are created by folding black card to form a sort of booklet, and then inside I'll print out a picture of the finished drawing, securing it in place with black picture corners. I also print out my certificate on linen textured paper just for that extra special touch, and then that also has a certificate sticker at the bottom stamped with my signature logo using a custom stamp that I purchased from Etsy. I then also use this same stamp to stamp the front of the booklet card itself. After writing all of the information out, as well as the personal thank you note, this will then go into a brown envelope with the client's name on, along with information about how to take care of the soft pastel artwork and how it should be framed. I'll use a black clip to secure all of this together, place it in the envelope and then seal it with wax, also using a custom signature stamp. Once complete, I'll then tape this envelope in place on the package. Next, I'll tape some bubble wrap to the package and begin to wrap it around in a few layers. Once there are about 2 or 3 layers of bubble wrap, I'll make sure that all the corners and sides are also taped down and secured as well, creating an overall protection. I think that the added bubble wrap is important to absorb any shock or bumps that the package may have during the shipping process, just for a bit of extra protection and peace of mind. Okay, so next is the tricky part, especially if you have a small space like mine, but we need to draw out the design of our outer cardboard box. So I do this by placing the bubble wrap package in the corner of a large sheet of cardboard and drawing around it with a pen like so, leaving enough space on the edges for the sides that need to come up and hug the package. So this is what that drawn out box looks like straight away. And here's an example of the shape that we need to cut out in the cardboard sheet. And obviously this will change depending on the dimension of your package. The straight lines are the sections we need to cut right through with our knife, and the dotted lines are where we just need to lightly slice the cardboard to make it easier to fold. Feel free to take a picture or screenshot of this for future reference, but this is simply the blueprint to create the outer cardboard box that perfectly fits our bubble wrapped package. You'll see how soon once I finish cutting it and folding it into shape. If you find this hard already, don't worry because it can seem like a lot at first, but once you do it a few times it's really easy and simple. So once I have that initial box drawn out, I'll then use a ruler to refine the lines and draw in the other lines that I need for the shape of the outer cardboard shell. It will make sense now as we progress through folding and bending the cardboard to fit the 3D shape of the package. Here's what those extra lines now look like drawn onto the cardboard, matching the blueprint I showed you just a moment ago. Again, some of these lines will just be sliced a bit, not cut all the way through, and that just makes it easier to fold the cardboard. So now using my ruler and a Stanley knife to make those slices and cuts to the cardboard. Again, this can be quite tricky if you have a small space like mine. So here you can now start to see the outer shell take place as I begin to bend those edges. And as I mentioned, I like to use double corrugated cardboard for its strength, but it does mean that folding and bending is a little bit harder, so you just have to be patient with it. I always leave the top lid flap and cut like this so that I can again place the package in the middle, fold it over and just make sure that it fits nicely. I'll then draw a line where the cardboard stops when folded over and cut this excess off to form the complete outer box. And here's what that box looks like before assembling. So once we have that outer shell, I can begin taping it together and first starting here with the corners. For this, I'm just using brown parcel tape. You can see I've left little flaps here to also fold into the corners, and this just allows for extra protection in these vulnerable areas. It's important to make sure that everything is snug and tight, mostly so that the package isn't going to move around inside, and also to save money on shipping as the smaller packages will be cheaper. As you can see, I start with those tricky corners, making sure to fold everything in place, and then I'll start taping the sides. You'll notice that I'm not folding the tips of the tape because we need to make sure that there's no chance of any of it peeling off. When the client receives the package, they will just have to cut through this tape and remove the outer cardboard shell. Okay, so that's the corners taped and secured into place. Now I can tape all along the sides too and bring the cardboard edges together. And here's what all the sides look like so far after taping. Once all that tape is in place, I'll then also tape along the edges where the gaps still show. I'll also make sure to tape the corners too by applying the tape half on like this and then cutting it through the middle top half and folding it over, and you can just see that this secures the corner in a really nice streamlined way. So then once everything is securely taped in with the brown parcel tape, I'll then switch to using fragile tape using the tape dispenser to go over those tape sides, securing them in place even further, and also just letting the shipping handlers know that this is a fragile package and should be handled with care. So that's now the package all secure and completed, and at this point I'll write down the final dimensions and weight ready to enter for UPS, who I use for my domestic and also international shipping. Once I have entered any customs information and paid for the shipment, I then print out the supplied information and attach it to the artwork using these shipping pouches. These pouches come with adhesive, so all I need to do is peel off the back and stick it to the package. I like to put the shipping info at the top and the customs info at the bottom. I'll then finish off with some fragile stickers, and this package is now ready to be picked up by UPS and begin its journey to its new home. I know this information would have helped me a lot when starting out, so I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. If this video did help you, I invite you to give it a thumbs up, as that really helps the channel, and also to subscribe so that you don't miss future uploads. I really appreciate all the support here on YouTube. Don't forget to also check the description for any further help and information. Before you go, if you're looking for even more art tutorials, you can view my full Patreon catalogue here.